Uh, what kind of flyer are you, Corrigan? Because a lot of people are nervous flyers, aren't they? A
Hmm.
lot of people are, breathe in a bag, breathe in a bag, or they need like meds to
Yeah,
fly. What about you? What kind of a flyer are you?
I am.
Do you fly often? Do you
I
fly often?
fly very often. I
Okay,
mean, in regular times, obviously not
of
for the past year
course.
and a half, but no, I
Hmm.
fly a lot. I hate it. I am a very nervous flyer. I don't do the like,
Ah,
don't do the demonstrative things like the bag thing and stuff like that usually.
yep.
Um, but I am definitely like if my husband is there, I've got my nails digging into his hand and things like that. And
Oh
I
dear.
don't like it. I will before each flight Google to remind myself what turbulence is, and that
Yep.
actually it's totally fine and good and no
Yep.
problem. And but
Yep.
like, yeah, I hate it. I don't like planes. Don't like being on them. Don't want anything to do with them. I wish
Because
I
a
could
plane,
teleport.
because a plane crash is one of those quintessential moments that
Are you going to
no
talk
one
about
wants to
plane
find themselves in.
crashes? Mark,
I
I have to
am.
fly in 30 days. Are you seriously going to do this?
No, well, hey, when better to talk about air crashes than now when you've got a flight coming up, right? But
Oh
I
no.
guess I guess the question I have to ask you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would it be easier, you think, being in a plane crash if you could look around as it was happening and think, this is actually pretty funny? There's some pretty funny elements to this.
No.
Because look, you say plane crash, and immediately the images that come to mind are never particularly funny, are they? You've got
No.
Alive, you've got the eating your fucking the dead, you've got
Right.
Hey 9/11. You've got most plane crashes aren't funny, but there's some plane crashes that have a kind of a funny side to them,
Okay.
you know. And I don't know. If I was going to go down in a plane crash, if I was going to die in an air accident, I'd like it at least to be recorded in the history books as one which, eh, you could sort of see the funny side of.
Sure. Try me, Mark. I'm going to hate this.
All right. Well, what if, what if I spoke to you about the 2010 Phil Air crash in the Democratic Republic of Congo?
Unfamiliar. I deeply, deeply avoid this stuff. My sister watches a show on
Mm.
National Geographic that's like how planes crash. And she's like, oh, yeah,
So
I
does
watch it when,
Yes, so does Laura. They do reenactments of plane
yeah,
crashes to the point where a couple of times
uh-uh.
Laura said, I could survive a plane crash. She knows what to do.
Mm-mm.
Um,
Nope.
I
Not
don't
interested.
think I don't think this particular crash will end up on that show.
Okay.
It was an aircraft which was doing just a normal, everyday domestic flight from Kinshasa in Congo and back again, various kind of domestic stops in Congo. Unfortunately, this particular plane, crashed into a house just 1 kilometer short of takeoff, right? 1 kilometer short of the runway. There were 21 people on board. Unfortunately, only one survived. Now, there was no fire. A lot of people speculated that it might have been to do with fuel exhaustion. Aren't you wondering what happened on that flight?
I guess.
The only survivor of that particular aircraft stated they didn't need a black box. They had a survivor. They had a first-hand
Right.
survivor's view there, who stated that one of the passengers in their hand luggage smuggled a fucking crocodile.
What?
Yeah, smuggled a bastard
Stop.
crocodile on board the aircraft, which escaped shortly before landing.
What?
Yeah, an actual crocodile slithers out of this geezer's bag just before landing, and all of the passengers, including flight attendants, rushed from their seats away from the crocodile to the front of the aircraft,
Oh no.
causing an horrific imbalance of weight, causing it to plummet to the ground. Fuck the center of gravity, led to what is described as an irrecoverable loss of control.
Holy shit.
I said there was one survivor.
Yeah.
There were actually two.
Was it the crocodile?
It was the motherfucking crocodile. The crocodile survived the crash.
The crocodile's just like, hey, what happened?
Hey, fuck? I was sleeping.
Where'd everybody go?
Yeah, the crocodile survived, but was reportedly killed by a machete shortly after. Somebody found it and killed the motherfucker.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
I feel like, okay, that's on the person who brought the crocodile and not the crocodile. It should not be punished for just crocodiling.
Yes, it
okay.
is.
That is absurd. And okay, because that I feel confident is never going to happen to me.
I know that's your take on it. My take is you can never plan for that, can you?
Guess not.
You know?
Nobody plans for loose crocodile.
You can never plan for that. You can never plan for that. But there are others, there are others. Not every air crash has to be, there are more JOAG air crashes than that. For example, in 2009, this one, nobody died, right? No one died.
Oh, good. Okay. Great. Love this story so far.
This is actually quite a heartwarming tale. I'm gonna paint a picture of a wedding for you, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And what is one of the most just quintessential customs of a wedding? It's when you throw the bouquet. Yes,
sure.
It's when the bride throws the bouquet behind her,
right?
And whoever catches the bouquet is the next to be wed. Now, this wedding in Tuscany in 2009, the bride responsible for arranging the wedding decided to be a little bit extra, and rather than throwing the bouquet herself, entrusted the pilot of a light aircraft to do a flyby of the wedding, to fly over the wedding and to discard the bouquet from the light aircraft onto the wedding party.
Good grief.
What could possibly go wrong? What could go wrong?
Any number of things, I'm sure.
Well, I mean, what did go wrong was that the pilot, one Isidoro Pensieri, threw the bouquet as arranged from the plane, which was then immediately sucked back into the engines.
Oh, seagulls.
Yeah, exactly. Flower strike, which caused his plane to crash. No one died. The pilot suffered some broken legs, but some broken legs.
A couple of his legs were broken. Raises more questions than it answers.
Yes, he did.
Oh no, that's ridiculous. And like this, I've had friends who've done things with like gender reveals with airplanes and stuff like that, and I don't get it. I don't get like spending that much money on something that makes absolutely no sense. And B, just not going to risk it with the planes. Not going to do it.
I don't want this to turn into a rant, so let's not talk about gender reveals. Fucking hell, they wind me the fuck up.
Yeah, that's a whole other JOAG topic right there. People have died in multiple gender reveals just to tell us about genitals.
To tell us about genitals. The final one. Okay. It does involve deaths, but not many. Just two. Okay. In the States in 1991, a flying lesson went wrong. A flying lesson between a 45-year-old pilot, a lady by the name of Linda Keith, was giving a flying lesson to a guy by the name of Carl Terry. And just as they took off, the flight was witnessed coming to a crash. To quote an eyewitness, a guy by the name of Willis Markham, "I was sitting in my truck parked along a field on a farm when I just happened to look up and see the plane just before the explosion."
Is this like mid-Atlantic accent? Since 1940?
He was prospecting for gold. I don't know. I couldn't tell if the explosion came from the engine or inside the plane. After the explosion, the plane started circling for a moment before it hit the ground. Now, further examination of the wreckage, right? Checking out the wreckage, found two bodies, two occupants, both undressed.
No.
With the seats reclined.
Why?
Well, I think it's pretty obvious why.
No, I mean, I know why. I mean, I don't understand how you would think that wouldn't end in a crash. That's what I mean by why. What?
The investigation cited an, quote, improper in-flight decision.
Yeah, I'll say.
Caused the plane to enter a dive. The speed tore off a wing, opened it up like a can opener, in the words of the sheriff investigating the flight.
Okay. I also feel confident that's never going to happen to me.
Hey, listen, I want to say that, lust aside, it was overconfidence which caused that one. I mean, the tutor had 470 hours of flight time. She was 45, he was 59. They would surely know better.
You would think. I mean, especially because like this was shortly after takeoff, right?
Yep. Yeah.
So they couldn't even wait. Like, okay, nope. Let's make sure, like, whatever. I don't know how autopilot or whatever works, but I feel like you should be in the air before you depend on it. Like, they were just like, nope, we are this exact amount of horny. We cannot wait for this plane to be flying. We need to, like, go.
Sort of makes you suspect that the flight was arranged for that purpose, does it?
Maybe. Not? That could be. I mean, but again, I'd think you'd at least give yourself time to like finish before plummeting. Then I guess maybe you'd change your mind. Things are different after.
So listen, alligators, flowers, intercourse. As long as you stay away from those three, at least those won't go down on the cause of death.
All right. I feel okay about this.
Good. I'm glad.
I was very, very worried.
At least I got an accent in there. I do like doing funny American voices.
It was very like 1940s mid-Atlantic sort of thing happening there.
Right. The voice that I decide to give American characters in my head is based entirely on how I picture them.
Sure. How did this guy look?
And I know this guy was a farmer, so he has like dungarees. And he's got like a hat. Yeah, well, I saw a plane. That.
See, that sounds like what I would imagine, and yet you went with like Cary Grant. It was an odd choice,
but a choice nonetheless.